Alright, so I decided to walk through the park on this one. This video is going to be on about me and just a little bit of my history and where I come from and why I do the things I do, because that's a very big part of me is having reason to do things, things being practical, making sense. So start off, I was a little kid in school, I think a loner by choice because I didn't really get on with anyone. It's not that I didn't get on with anyone, I kind of did get on with the people I clicked with, and you always have those people that you can connect to. I never really blended to any crowd, no matter what it was, even the misfits, I wasn't really fully involved in that. From there, I kind of took a positive because I never really decided to blend with anyone, I kind of always did my own thing. And then around year 10, year 11, got in a relationship. Before that, I'd already started skating. Hey, look at that. It's the age. Yeah, I got into a relationship that ended up being 4 years. Pretty intense. I wouldn't say your average relationship, but who am I to say, because who knows. Yeah, so I was in a relationship for 4 years, and then that kind of taught me a lot about myself. I don't want to say too much about that, but anyway, so I learned a lot about advice that I've given and information about what's already inside my mind. And she was going to a psychiatrist and they were saying the same kind of advice that I was giving, and I was thinking 16, 17 year old giving the same advice as a psychiatrist, so obviously noticed something special about my mind. That's actually why I started making YouTube videos. So fast forward, I went to uni, I had a lot of projects but always spent more time on YouTube and stuff, so that actually stopped after a while. Once I finished uni, I kind of just slept on it and just kept skating. Bagged my first sponsor with Slick Willy Skate Shop, respect, and then got my first job at Better Extreme, and that was things really starting to work out for me in my eyes. So I kind of just took those two blessings and went with it. From there, just kept skating, kept picking up sponsors, improved, always hard on myself, keep wanting to improve more and more, but that never stops with skateboarding or any athletic thing you want to take part in. But along the way, I started becoming more conscious of how I was treating myself. And that dates back to when I was in the relationship, because I could tell that she wasn't treating herself very well, and a lot of times, a lot of things that she could have, there were a lot of things that she could have done for herself that would have made her situation a lot better, and she'd have probably gotten out of the hole that she dug for herself. So I started to realise that those things I could do for myself, and even though I was helping out others, I could do that for myself. And the more I started doing that to myself, the more I learned a lot more about life. I learned a lot more about things in general. And I just feel like I got to a stage where I'm like, if I could do it, and I'm not doing good in school, my grades are average beyond measure. If I could do it, I believe anyone can do it. And I think caring about yourself and really opening up to what you can do for yourself is so important. And I think it's important because it determines where you go in your future. So it's ultimately down to yourself. So I started becoming very in tune with energies and things like that, and what I'm putting in my body, what I'm researching, what I'm putting on my body, what I'm listening to, everything, like lyrics and the music that I'm listening to, literally everything. And I feel like when you get onto that journey, it doesn't actually stop, because you are just constantly looking for the next thing. Alright, cool, yeah, what's next? And yeah, you get a lot of haters, you get a lot of people who don't understand you, get a lot of friends who you thought were your friends before and turn out not to be. But that's never really been an issue to me, because like I said, back in school I was kind of the loner kid, so it was alright to me. I could mould to being on my own. I really enjoy being on my own. I think that's important, learning how to enjoy your own company, your own mind. If you don't, then I believe that you can utilize your time better utilize your thoughts better, because that's all it is. It's just making the most out of what you've got, making the most out of your blessings. So then I moved on to God and moved back to Christianity after being born into it and straying. Started going to church. Didn't really mold to it because obviously I had become such a free spirit that things just, you know, they had to feel natural for me. They had to just cut off. But anyway, so things needed to make sense to me. So how I used church was, I used it the same way I like to use life in general, which was just utilize what I could, learn what I could, see what would open my mind up. And yeah, started believing in Jesus, started believing in God. And then since then, the blessings have just been unfolding more and more and more. And you start to realize patterns in life, and you pray more and you do all these things, and before where you think, oh, it's just skeptical, it's just, you know, nonsense, and you're not really taught why it's important or anything like that. And then you kind of see, you know, action and reward. You do one thing and it plays out, and you start to think, okay, he's happy with me, basically. That's how I feel. So a lot of naysayers out there, I'd say you wouldn't really ever know if you were closed-minded to it, and that goes for anything. You wouldn't really know if you're closed-minded to it, because how would you? You've been brought up, like I was, to believe all of this stuff is just not important. Don't need to think about it. Don't need to think about your meat that you're eating, because it's just normal, everyone does it. You don't need to think about, you know, the depth of life and really working on yourself daily. Not important. Not important to believe in yourself, to realize that positive words and manifestations are important. Yeah, so I just became that person, man, through just spending a lot of time, a lot of energy towards growing my own self. I could tell you about 6-7 years ago I wasn't who I am now. So yeah, I feel like doing this, what I'm doing in this video, is important. Going back on your life, looking at, you know, where you could have gone better, not just always being cynical on others, man. Come on, it's 2019 now, let's get 2020 straight. And we can really do this together, man. We're on this planet together, let's do this together, why not? So I hope this maybe can inspire others to, you know, really look back on their life and think about what they can learn and utilize from the past that they might not have, or something that's blocking them, or whatever the case may be. I just think, you know, once we can do that, and once we can open up to our own lessons and our own blessings and stuff, then we can really start working together. So you'll definitely see a lot more from me on that. But yeah, peace and love, man. I think the next video, because one kid, I apologize, because one kid keeps asking me to do a kickflip tutorial video, and I have been very either procrastinating or just busy. So after this video, that's the next video that's coming up, and then I'm gonna try and organize how I do these, but I think I'm just gonna go with the flow and see how they go. Same with uploading. I said I was going to do it weekly, but I think it makes me lazy. So we'll see, man, we'll see. But I've enjoyed this, you know. It's kind of like a nice release, walking through the park. But I'll see you in the next video. Didn't want to keep this too long, but I guess it is what it is, man. If you want to follow the videos that I'm making, this is a good video to watch, because it kind of puts everything into perspective and why I do the things I do. I'm not narcissistic. I don't think I'm better than everyone else. I've heard it all, mate. But yeah, man, peace and love. We all need to connect. We all need to respect. But yeah, most importantly, we need to love. So safe in a bit.